The likeadragon series has had plenty of leaders in the form of chairmen and clan captains, with the most prominent being a certain Akala we all know. That's not all, however, as I want to tie this video into one of the most unique chairmen, or to be more blunt, the only woman we've ever seen take control of an entire Yakuza clan. That being Yayoi Dojima, a character who actually first appeared in a Yakuza 1 substory before taking a larger role in Yakuza 2. Then after that, she just disappears because her son, the puffy jacket gun-wielding coma-inducing shogun in his past life, went to high school with Shinada and once played by Roger Craig Smith, Daigo Dojima, took over in all the sequels. I hope I got your attention there. And don't you forget that this is episode 2 of the Tanimura Files. Previously on the Tanimura Files. You're telling me that little Asia burnt down? My god, where have I been? Holy fuck. Damn it. Stuck in another fucking place. Ho 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 ho! Tanimura, I wouldn't touch that if I were you. You can't touch a man's alcoholism shrine. I know they're empty bottles, but I take great pride in my work here at Dagger Drop Films, yes. Well, don't you know who I am? I'm Mr. Dagger Drop Films himself, the disgraced disciple of Kamaki. Ah, Tanimura, I needed you today for episode 2 of the Tanimura Files. Last time we talked about the hidden bosses of the Yakuza series that you have to discover yourself by venturing out in the open world. But today, Tanimura, I need you to give me your precious insights on the leaders of the Yakuza clans. Whether that's the Omi or the Tojo Clan, I don't care. But I know you fought alongside one of them, that being Daigo Dojima. And did you know he has a hot mom? Alright, well, I suppose I'll play along the game for a little longer, Mr. Dagger Drop, you sick freak. So, talking about the Tojo Clan chairman, are we? Let's get into this. I remember Daigo myself. Now, the police and the Yakuza have a long history together. They're practically two sides of the same coin. You can take it from me. Some of my greatest allies were ex-Yakuza. However, during my tenure at Tokyo PD, I had to battle Deputy Commissioner Murakata and his boy band. It was a pretty rough time. I'm surprised that Daigo Dojima had an even rougher time being a 6th chairman. Yep, and his rough history as chairman goes back even further. First, we have to understand that Daigo and his mother had a pretty tumultuous decade following the death of the toad that was Sohei Dojima. And I'm sure the home life for everyone was already bad enough if we go back further and remember Sohei's scheme for the empty lot. And if we go back even further than that to the early 80s, Sohei was the one responsible for sending Kazama and Shimano to attack foreign groups in Kamurocho. You don't have to remind me about that one, jackass. Someone had to mention it. Anyway, Sohei's long-standing history as a pillar of the Tojo Clan that includes an abundance of violence and scheming coupled with the fact that he had swarms of mistresses, it's no wonder that Daigo saw Kiryu as his hero at a young age.
Compared to the absent Sohei, even a young Kiryu was a saint that would be a great older brother role model to little Daigo. I'm sure Yayoi saw this as well, given that her and Kiryu go way back. From the scenes between Kiryu and Yayoi in 2005 and the openings of 2006, it was clear that Yayoi had a lot of faith in Kiryu, but was clearly divided since for a decade, Kiryu was known as Sohei Dojima's killer. Even when the truth came out, you can tell that there's still not animosity, but a bit of just a rift between them. It's very, very subtle though. It must have been very complicated and confusing for Yayoi and Daigo alike, given how close Kiryu was to them. I'm sure Kiryu was a positive light in their lives. However, the Dojima murder of 1995 definitely put a barrier between the three of them, especially if you see where Daigo's ended up around this time.
Yeah, and you know, I'm really surprised that Sohei had so many side hoes when he had Yayoi. Now I've checked my intel and it appears that it's true that Sohei was the only man that Yayoi ever had feelings for. I can't believe it, but considering I had a mixed upbringing myself with the police force as well, I guess I'll just never really know why. It's a bit of a gray area. But to each their own. Now, what I'm really surprised on is how Daigo really fits into all of this. I'm sure the poor guy had a really rough upbringing. And for a Yakuza's home life, I can only imagine how sketchy it could really be, especially for someone in a position like Sohei Dojima.
Well, the sketchiness may be a gray area we'll never know for certain. Yet, if there's one thing I do know for certain, it's that Kiryu was able to further clear his name in 2006, when he actively worked alongside Yayoi, who then became the acting chairwoman of the clan after Terada was seemingly assassinated. I truly wonder what made her a candidate to take over though, and why wasn't she able to take over when Sarah was killed? Yayoi was definitely active during the events of the 10 billion yen since we saw her in the first game. Anyway, I still think it was pretty cool how Yayoi was able to fill the role of chairwoman at a very shaky time for the Tojo Clan. She helped steer that whole flaming ship and gave Kiryu her blessing to go find Daigo. Seeing Daigo evolve during Yakuza 2 alone is such an amazing character beat. It really is where he shines, as he goes from being done with the Yakuza to feuding with Ryuji Goda, and ultimately taking the chance to lead over 300 members of the Tojo Clan to battle the Omi and disarm the bombs they placed around Kamurocho. It's fascinating that Daigo had got to reveal his Irizumi, that Akala, here in only one scene, but it's a powerful scene that strikes a chord as his own mother gets to see him finally take control of his life. And not only is his mom there, for it was Kiryu and Kashiwagi also being present to see Daigo embrace the Akala he had inked on his back and rally the Tojo Clan during their time of need. What I really like about this scene is how it shows the Tojo Clan in a rare heroic light as they rally together to save Kamurocho. Just listen to the music cue as seen earlier when Daigo starts showing his leadership side.
柏木さん、その300人、俺に預けてくれ。すぐに招集をかける。
登場会のために立ち上がってくれるんだね。
親父や風間のおじきが体を張って守ったこの町を郷田龍二のようなやつに好きにさせたくねえんだ。合流会を返り討ちにしてやる。大悟、お前。
So that's where his passion and inner charisma comes from. I gotta say, the bond between mother and son is pretty sweet. Now, Mr. TVF, will you show me some of Daigo's sweet gunslinging?
That's right. Earlier we saw Daigo save his mother after Kiryu gave Shindo a good old beatdown all across the Tojo Clan HQ. The whole situation of Shindo betraying the Tojo Clan ended up showing how easy it is to have rogue Yakuza seemingly on your side. Plus, it gave Daigo himself a taste of what to expect in the future. I just don't think anyone expected Shindo to be a MILF hunter in disguise. Oh, MILF hunters. They're everywhere. And wouldn't you know, Daigo went hunting himself and put a round of shrapnel in Shindo, ruining more than just his squeaky clean suit. Hey Tanimura, do you love MILFs?
Mr. TDF, I love MILFs as much as I love justice. And gambling.
Alright. So that was our first taste of Daigo being incredibly overpowered with firearms. But it also showed how quick he is to protect others. He would do similar things in 2009 and 2012. And well, there was a certain other thing he used guns in.
Someone please come in. So do you mean like that kind of bizarre dream guys like us have?
Oh, yes, that being Dead Souls in 2011, where we got to see a cross-dressing Daigo and plenty of gun action from him.
Okay, we'll chalk that up to Majima.
So it's clear from pretty much every major event that happened to the Tojo Clan in the 21st century that it somehow ties back to Daigo himself. Sometimes it may be a more direct event that sidelights him, such as with Mine, Munakata, and Suga, or Daigo will even take initiative himself and settle things in his own terms. The climactic fight he had with Kiryu atop the Millennium Tower was a long time coming, but it was pivotal for the both of them. While Daigo was still deep down the man who made his mother proud years earlier by taking charge, there was still a bunch of growing pains that came with leadership. If Yayoi herself had stuck around, I think she'd only be in more danger. I mean, if you look at the things that happened to Kashiwagi and Majima, it was clear that the antagonists were only gonna play dirtier as the years went on, and I mean way dirtier than Shindo. The duel with Kiryu helped Daigo realize how complicated the heavy cross of leadership can be, so much so that I believe it inspired Daigo to take the first steps towards victory in Yakuza 5. Sure, he goes off the radar, but considering that the Omi's own chairman did the same damn thing, it was cool to see the opposing leaders of two factions both go into the shadows in order to outplay each other. Daigo versus Kurosara. Certainly the strangest game of chess I've seen played, and yet it was ultimately badass.
Well, it seems that Yayoi and Kiryu were good enough role models for Daigo that their convictions inspired him to take strong chances of his own. Now, I just can't believe that the East and West factions of the Yakuza clans disbanded. I wish I was there, damn it!
Daigo evolved from being a mere town drunk to ultimately once again living up to that Akala Irizumi on his back, and taking a gigantic step he can never back away from. Working alongside fellow legendary leader Watase, in 2019, Daigo seemingly ended the two largest Yakuza clans, but it wasn't easy. At the very least, while the days after the disbanding were dark, Daigo still got to fight alongside Kiryu in order to stop the uprising of Yakuza and make him proud. While there are certainly different ways I could have framed Daigo's legacy here, I want to go back to an older video of mine where I said Daigo was like a son to Kiryu. I still think that to be true, since Daigo's as much his son as Haruka is his daughter. They're both different aspects of Kiryu, and are still two people whose lives he made better throughout the years, much like how Kiryu made sure to clear things up with Yayoi Dojima. Kiryu's just the kind of guy to set things right. And if there's one thing Daigo has made an impact on, it's turning the Dojima name into his very own, and surpassing the twisted legacy of his father. With the Dragon Dojima on his side, there's no doubt that the Dragon is now affiliated with Daigo's legacy through and through. Father and son, dragon and Akala.
I hope Daigo's out there somewhere doing his own thing, like I am right now. And I've gotta say, I think that Daigo and his mother Yayoi were probably the best leaders the Tojo Clan had in recent years. Now, that is to mention that a lot of the Tojo Clan and Omi Alliance's chairmen are pretty much wrapped in mystery somehow. I wonder if it's because you have to be almost assassinated or put in some big scandal in order to be remembered as a chairman. Who knows, Yakuza's leadership is pretty weird. But I do have to say that the big leaders of the Tojo Clan and Omi Alliance have gone and come, in glory and in villainy. But no matter what, one thing I can say for certain, and through a little bit of personal experience, is that Daigo certainly left a mark on the history of the underworld. And as for the Tojo Clan, who really was their original founder, Makoto Tojo? Who really was he? Perhaps we'll find out in the revelation. But until then, for all things justice, next time, I feel like I really need to dive into Kiryu-san's history and his past allies. I heard one of his greatest and original allies was a man with a back tattoo with ties to Little Asia. Bravo, Tanimura. Bravo. And you know what? I'm not done with you yet. That's right, you're gonna stay in my clusterfuck of a labyrinth. Sheer fuckery as we go into the next episode of the Tanimura Files.
Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode of my new series. Let me know your favorite memories of Daigo in the comments below, and what are your thoughts on Yayoi Dojima? Do you think she should have returned in the series? Let me know in the comments below what you think about this mother and son duo and Yakuza leadership. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned.